The only way that a building can accelerate as it collapses is by having pre-engineered, precisely timed, and precisely placed explosives. In other words, controlled demolition.
The top part is, in fact, being destroyed. Starting now, there is no downward movement of this intact block crushing anything below it. You can see the green line. It's indicating that the upper block is being destroyed. Very similar, actually, to Building 7. In the first 4 seconds here, it's being internally demolished. Its structure is being liquefied by something. Like the firemen described, like a belt, all these explosions wrapping all the way around the building. They heard it. You're seeing it now. And do you see any video or photograph of the top portion of this building driving the rest of the building down? No. As you just saw, it's been destroyed in the first 4 seconds. There's nothing left to drive the rest of the building down at any speed, much less near freefall acceleration. Because let's look at the South Tower. The building actually descending, very similar to the North Tower. In the first 4 seconds, it's destroyed. It actually begins to tip over. Let's slow this down. We have 22 degrees. This building is falling off of its base. So we have asymmetrical damage from this block that's falling off. We have asymmetrical damage from the airplanes, asymmetrical damage from the fires, and whatever damage they've done. How can we have complete symmetrical damage then ensuing after that, straight down from the top to the bottom, like the fireman described, like a belt, all these explosions wrapping all the way around the building? It makes no sense. We might expect that upper part to fall off the building if it could have started in a collapse on its own anyway. But take a look from below. What are we looking at? Are we looking at a natural gravitational collapse, or are we looking at a series of explosions that are leading the advance down the building 20, 30 stories ahead of what we're told is a gravitational collapse up above, but which we have no evidence for?
What you are seeing here is what happened to the North Tower of the World Trade Center, the second of 3 buildings to collapse on 9/11/2001. There's a tremendous amount of falling debris, but under the canopy of debris, do you see the rapid sequence of explosive ejections of material? Some of the jets have been clocked at over 100 miles per hour. I will call them explosions because it's hard to find other words that describe what we are seeing here. The explosions are not isolated and few. They are continuous and widespread. They move progressively down the faces of the building, keeping pace with the falling debris. Perhaps you can imagine a natural cause. I can't. Notice that the explosions are occurring on multiple floors at once, over a wide zone, not in a floor-by-floor sequence that might be explained by pancaking collapse. The building is being progressively destroyed from the top down by waves of explosions, creating a huge debris field. The destruction is in waves, not just in one wave. Most obvious is a rapid sequence of explosions near the visible corner of the building, but simultaneously we can see another wave of explosions much further down the face of the building under the canopy of falling debris. Notice that both waves of explosions progress down the face of the building, nearly keeping pace with the falling debris just a few feet away. Slabs of concrete did not fall to the ground and smash to dust. There is almost no concrete in the rubble pile. Notice that the concrete is being forcefully ejected outward from the sides of the building, already pulverized to dust. Notice that embedded in the dust clouds are huge girders and entire sections of steel framing that are being hurled out of the building. The horizontal speed of some of the girders has been clocked at over 70 miles per hour. Some of these girders impaled themselves in the sides of neighboring buildings. Some landed as much as 2 football fields away from the base of the tower. What could hurl heavy girders with such force and give them such speed? Some people have suggested that the weight of the tower crushing down on the girders caused them to flex, and they sprung sideways by a spring action. But we are not seeing isolated jumping girders. We are seeing a major fraction of the mass of the building, steel, concrete, office furniture, and the remains of human beings, reduced to small pieces of rubble and fine dust, and being explosively ejected in all directions. Bone fragments are found on the roofs of adjacent buildings. The bones were not crushed in the falling mass, or they would have been trapped in the debris pile. They were pulverized along with everything else and blown out in all directions.